Welcome to episode 13 of A Bit of Everything. I'm Henry H. Bomb Higgins, and last time out we presented a video on 10 remakes reboots that are, in my opinion, better than the originals. After we'd finished that video, J-Rock put forward the notion of doing a list of bad remakes, his reasoning being that as I'm always highlighting the good ones, there must be remakes, reboots that even I cannot endorse. So, with that in mind, and thank you to Josh for the idea, here are 10 remakes/reboots in chronological order that absolutely suck. Number 1, King Kong. Having none of the heart of the 1993 original, and somehow with worse special effects, this soulless attempt at a monster movie got everything it could wrong. The performances aren't terrible, and Rick Baker created some neat practical effects, at least in idea, if not execution, but a miscast Jeff Bridges in the title role, and the fact it made enough money to allow the even worse King Kong Lives 10 years later is the clincher. Number 2, Get Carter. The story is shoddily told, with very little context as to what is going on. Stallone himself is fine in the title role, but he isn't a patch on Michael Caine's original Jack Carter, while the subtext and aesthetic of 70s Newcastle, itself an important character in the original, isn't replicated by the relocation to Seattle. Altering the ending also robs the film of a powerful gut punch the original delivered, instead opting for generic ending number 3 in the action movie cliche handbook makes a tired retread even more of a forgettable experience. Number 3, Rollerball. Why does this movie suck? Simply because it exists. Seriously, this movie is possibly the worst remake ever made. There are worse films, for sure, but the only thing this really keeps from the original is the game of Rollerball itself. Gone are the nuanced characters, the biting satire and social commentary, the underlying dread of what a future society could be, and in their place is violence for the sake of violence, one-dimensional roles, and a scattershot plot that fails to engage from the opening to closing credits. Number 4, Swept Away. Madonna gives possibly her worst acting performance. Guy Ritchie does his best to eviscerate the goodwill from the likes of Lock, Stock and Snatch, and the movie itself has no emotional depth of any kind. It's such a poor adaptation, the director of the 1974 original, Lena Wertmüller, left the screening in tears, unable to process the shock of what Ritchie and Madonna had done to her movie. 5 wins at the 2003 Razzies tells you all you need to know. Number 5, The Lady Killers. First and foremost, it sucks because of the quality we know the Coens can and do produce on a regular basis. Secondly, while the cast are all good to great actors individually, they just don't seem to click as an ensemble, which is unfortunately the backbone of any movie with this type of premise. Hanks is okay, but the accent is grating, and overall the movie is just a pale imitation of the wonderful Ealing original. Number 6, The Fog. Despite having both John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, writer/director and writer/producer of the original respectively, on board, the remake lacks any of the traits early Carpenter horrors are known for, namely suspense, tension, effective scares, etc. None of the characters stand out as memorable, the effects are bland, the kills uninspired, and it's a movie you will have forgotten most of as soon as you've finished watching it. Number 7, The Wicker Man. The Bees! Seriously though, has there ever been a more descended into parody actor than Nicolas Cage? There are great actors in the cast who are completely wasted, The basic premise of the original is intact, but the absurd execution seems to have been included as an intentional act of spite. Cage overacts as only he can, and the pure innocence of Edward Woodward's Neil Howie is completely lost. In short, this film is an utter shambles. Number 8. Clash of the Titans. In addition to the names you can see above, the movie also boasts Liam Neeson, Ray Fiennes, Jason Fleming, Nicholas Hoult, Liam Cunningham, Rory McCann, Luke Evans, Danny Huston, Alexander Siddig and Pete Postlethwaite. And yet, even with all of those, the film is a mess of ideas that, like the cast, don't work when put together. The Kraken is a fantastic sight, but it can't save a film that has none of the charm from the original, a dire script, and misplaced silliness throughout. Number 9. Arthur. In a role seemingly tailor-made for Russell Brand, he successfully shows why he's better suited to supporting roles where his style isn't the overriding tool the film relies on for the total running time. The film has none of the charm the Dudley Moore original had in 1981. The premise itself just worked better back then, and the double act with John Gielgud is well out of reach for Brandon Mirren to duplicate. Again, this film has great actors in the cast, but no one was having a good day when this was being filmed. Number 10. The Mummy. The 1999 version with Brendan Fraser showed that it was possible to remake, albeit loosely, the classic tale from 1932, making it fun, inventive, filled with great and memorable characters, etc. The 2017 version does none of this, despite having great actors like Courtney B. Vance and Russell Crowe joining the three main leads. Its issues stem from it trying to run before it can walk, which the DCEU also suffered from, insomuch as attempting to establish a shared universe before the audience had any semblance of what was going on. The plot jumps around, character motivations are scattershot while lacking in any originality, or even any of the knowing campiness from Fraser's outings, meaning The Mummy killed the idea of a dark universe before it had even begun. And there you have it, 10 remakes / reboots that are terrible, especially in comparison to their predecessors. Do you agree with the list? Leave your comments below and let us know what movie remake you think should have made the cut, or why you believe any of those mentioned shouldn't be there. I'm Henry Higgins, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.